Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for some breaking royally screwed news. Now, it's not about my investigation into historic coin pricing, but instead in relation to this silent auction, and we'll remember that phrase, silent auction, that the Royal Mint is running right now for the 5-coin matte gold proof set. Now, this is something that ends tonight, hence the kind of breaking news urgency of this, because there are some emails flying around through social media land that are sharing some communications the Royal Mint have sent out to bidders in this silent auction. The nuts and bolts of it is that they, and I've seen the emails, I've got copies of them, I can't necessarily share them here, I don't know necessarily the full legalities of sharing a full email on here, but needless to say, I've done some journalistic research and it is indeed genuine that they have been sending emails out to people basically saying that in the interest of fairness, they have contacted people who are not winning to ask them if they want to place in a higher bid. And they're recommending that they place bids around the lower end of the estimate on this particular auction, which is at 15,000, quite a lot of money. And then they've emailed all the people that were winning and have said, you're currently in line to win a set, but we've emailed everybody else out there that aren't winning, so you might now want to consider increasing your bid. That's a big deal. So I've seen some, as I say, evidence that that is real, and I've reached out to the Royal Mint for comment on this situation because that goes completely against what a silent auction is and what should be a silent auction. And I think that's pretty poor behaviour. We'll share a little bit more on my opinion side of things as we go. And indeed a few opinions of other people out there in the world of social media, because this, I think, is a big deal. It undermines what really a silent auction should be all about. You just put your highest bid in. If you are the highest bidder, you win one of these sets. I say win, you purchase one of these sets. There are 23 of them, and the fact that it's even a silent auction in the first place is a bone of contention amongst some coin collectors out there, because by doing it in this format, you'll naturally get more money in. And that's what the Royal Mint really cares about, getting as much money in as possible. And that's where these follow-up emails to bidders really kind of hammers that point home. What, in my opinion, we'll get a bit into my opinion side of things now, is that there is an element here that the Mint hasn't got quite as much as they were expecting on the bids, or as many bids as they were expecting perhaps. So they've gone back to all the people who put in, you know, there is a guide here. It says minimum bid 6,000, estimated value 15 to 30,000. You know, I would probably have put a bid around the £6,000 mark if I was bidding. I'm not really caring about this set personally, but the fact that they've got this range here, 15 to 30, and they have been contacting people in that email to say that they've been recommending people increase their bid to the lower end of that range, I think reinforces the point that they have actually not received as much money in these bids as they were expecting. So Captain Subtext in me says the Royal Mint want more from you, and so they've gone to all the bidders that were at that high level, and they've gone with their hands open saying, please sir, can I have some more? And I think that's pretty shocking behaviour, and again against the sort of spirit that is a silent auction. So the terms and conditions are all here, and you might be thinking, well, there might be something in these terms and conditions that allow them to do that. I don't think there are, but I'm not an expert on legal matters like this or terms and conditions. So I'm just going to scroll through them so we've got a record of them for posterity, because I don't think these will be here in a few days' time when this auction ends. This page will probably end up being archived somewhere and we won't be able to find them. So recording them for posterity. And also I'd just like to say that I would love it if one of my favourite YouTubers out there, the Black Belt Barrister, would have a look at this situation and maybe look through these terms and conditions and see if the Royal Mint have been acting in accordance with them or whether they've breached them, because I think that would have potentially quite a lot of impact on the people who have been bidding, who are expressing their own real dissatisfaction with the fact that their bids have now been or basically gazumped, is a phrase where you can just get outbid because somebody has told you to bid more and so on. It's just not good at all. And a lot of people are really quite upset about this. Some of the comments on this situation over on various different social media platforms, I'm going to read out a few selections here. The whole thing is absolute insert very big expletive here, and I don't know why anyone is entertaining it. The nonsense about fairness is for the birds. Should have been a lottery and 23 winners chosen to all pay the same price. Well, that sort of backs up my comment there about the horrible fact that it's a silent auction and people will be paying lots of money for these products. People are saying that people who've bid should withdraw their bids. I mean, that's, again, not for me to really comment on from a legal point of view because I'm nowhere near qualified to even garner an opinion. But if I was bidding and that had happened, I'd feel really, really not great about it at all. So a few other opinions. Somebody has said, utterly appalling conduct from the Royal Mint. Personally, if I were a leading bidder, I would cancel my bid. 1 minute you're playing football, the next minute rugby. Nothing surprises me lately from the Royal Mint. They are nothing better than any of the marketing companies. Pretty much says it all. Another person is saying, it's appalling. Surely it's a breach in the rules about silent auction. Again, I'm not an expert, but I would think it's probably pretty close to it. Another person says, that's so out of order. How can it be a silent auction if the Royal Mint are telling the low bidders haven't won, so they need to bid more to bid against somebody who has already got a high bid? Absolutely disgusting behaviour, and I would tend to agree with all of those. There are plenty of other comments, some with quite big expletive marks in them. Don't really want to share those on YouTube, but the point here is that I think the Royal Mint are acting in poor taste for this. Whether or not they are breaching terms and conditions of this silent auction is not for me to categorically say, but I think we can all potentially agree that they are certainly acting with not the best of intentions, or at least not the best of ethics, I guess. So what are we going to do about it? Well, I've reached out to the Royal Mint's PR department and head of consumer relations, the head of collector services, that's the one. And those are people that I've spoken with on the phone about some of the other issues around coin pricing that I've been experiencing. So we'll see if they come back with a comment. Of course, this is a Sunday. I'm filming on a Sunday. I reached out to them first thing this morning when this broke. I haven't had a reply. I wasn't expecting a reply on Sunday, and we shouldn't expect them to reply on a Sunday. I would hope, though, that they would see this video. I'm going to send it to them when it's published, and they would see our complaints. And if you individually would like to send your complaints to the Royal Mint, then you can. So how to make a complaint, you can send it to the customerservices@royalmint.com email address. Or if you've got an account manager with the Royal Mint, then please send something to them to tell them that you're not happy. If you don't get a reply, or you don't feel like any reply you get is worth it, then you can send something to the head of customer services. The more of us that do this, the better. The more we can share, because we know now that the Royal Mint has this everything is fine mentality. They don't have the data to back up the fact that there are problems, or there are dissatisfied customers, or unhappy people out there. If we all send something in, then they will. They'll have that data. They can't ignore it. They can't ignore us. And hopefully they can't ignore all of the really quite annoyed people that are out there that have been bidding on this coin set and are now faced with the potential to have to increase their bid when they don't know if they actually have to. And if you can imagine being in that position, I don't know if you would ever be able to find out, but if you ever found out that you'd put in a bid that was, let's call it £10,000, and your bid was going to win one, you got that email and you went, okay, well, I need maybe to bid a bit more because I might not get it. I'll put the low estimate in of 15,000. And then you find out that your £10,000 bid would have won it after all. That, I think, would be an incredibly bad thing. So that's how I would feel if I was in that situation. And I know a lot of other people would too. So anyway, look, that's my feelings on the situation. I think it's not very good. I'm going to follow this up with the Royal Mint's PR department and various others. Please, if you want to share your opinions, get in touch with the Royal Mint. Also, tag the Black Belt Barrister in. If we can tag him in, then it'd be great. He might be able to do a video and share some of his insights on this and raise the awareness of just how this situation is not acceptable at all. I don't know if he will. And I don't do this for any sense of vanity to get a shout out or a collaboration with a higher subscribed YouTube channel than mine. But it would be interesting, I think, for our coin industry, our coin world, our community to be featured on somebody's channel like that. Anyway, we'll see if that happens. But for now, at least, it is what it is, I suppose. I suppose we shouldn't really be expecting much more from the Royal Mint at this point. We can't expect much less, quite frankly. So anyway, that's it from me. For those watching to the back end, I say thank you, and I will be publishing a little video, it's actually meant to go today, on the historic coin pricing update with the statement that Royal Mint gave me, which is a bit wishy-washy and not particularly substantive. That'll go out, I think, maybe tomorrow. Depends on how I feel. Depends how this video does, I suppose, and whether we get some good traction on it. But that'll come out soon. Otherwise, that is it from me. Thanks all for watching. We'll see you on the next video. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.